Okay, so I'm just going to jump in here to our labor line item, and we'll jump here to editor labor. And now one thing that's different with Jaket, and something that you may not be used to or just confused by, is the difference in the way that we handle cost and markup. So cost is going to be any of your hard costs. So in this case, we are hiring an editor and we pay her $1,500 a day, and she's getting billed out at 10 days. Yet we're marking her up $1,000 a day. So that's all pretty straightforward. You can also toggle your markup and have it be percentage based. So if you just wanted to charge an extra 20% on her labor per day, you can do it that way as well. But for the sake of the demo, I'm going to say we're charging $2,500 a day for 10 days. So I'll save that, jump back over here. And then in the prep line item, I'm doing the same thing for file conversion, but you'll see there's zero hard cost to us on this because we build this into the cost of running our business. This is part of the overhead of running our post house. And so we just charge the client $250 an hour, and we're charging for 6 hours. Now, the other thing I want to note is this little thing called auto actualize. And so what is auto actualize? So as soon as we award this bid, anything that is marked as auto actualize will create a cost record, which I'll show you here in a second, and then it'll actually add this amount. So it'll add $250 at 6, quantity of 6. So it'll add $1,500 to our actuals. And we don't have to go in here and manually add these things. As long as auto actualize is clicked, as soon as we award this bid, it will be actualized. Now, something that's kind of interesting to note here is this carries through. So if we save this bid as a template that we reuse over and over again, this value stays the same. So any of these line items that you always want to auto actualize, that's where that comes in. And you can see I'll check it off here. The little A disappears. I'll check it back in. You can quickly see which items are being auto actualized. All right. So the bid looks good. I'm going to go ahead and award the bid. So I'll click up here. We'll change the status to awarded, and I'm going to say update. Great. This bid has been awarded. And you'll see here that everything that we auto actualized has now been actualized. And we can click down here and we'll see that there's a cost file automatically created by Jaket for $1,500. Now, if I jump back over to the project, you'll notice that its status has now been changed to awarded, and you're going to see something over here called the cost summary. Now, the cost summary is definitely still in beta, and we're working on this. But what it's doing right now is it's just giving you a quick at-a-glance overview of every awarded bid and where it stands financially. So if we were to award this bid here, it'll also show up in here. We could award 4 different bids for the same project, and it'll just keep adding to the summary. Now you can see here, we've added 0 costs to this project. So the only thing that's showing up is $7,200, and that's all profit. So it's saying it's 100% profitable. That's great. If only that was reality for all the projects we produce. But the reality is we do have hard costs. So how do we add those, and how does that get handled within Jaket? Let's jump back over to our bid and let's add some hard costs. So filed conversion, we know that there's no hard costs associated with this. We don't need to worry about it. I have an invoice here. This is from our audio vendor, Lemon Studios, and they charged us for a mix session and the use of 2 stock music tracks for a total of $2,100. So how do we do this? How do we A, enter the cost, and B, split it between 2 line items? So let's go ahead and do that. Jump into my audio category. And here we go. Here's our 2 stock music tracks at $355 each. So that matches our invoice. That's what we bid for. But we also applied a markup. And we'll show you how easy it is to manage that. So I'm going to go ahead and add cost. Now the label's going to be, how do you want this to appear to maybe your accountant or your EP? What is the description of this cost? So this is an invoice from Lemon. And the total here, $2,210. I'll just cut and paste that in. This will be your total for the entire cost. You can add your file here. I'll just drag it in from my desktop, upload that. And you could also add multiple files here if you have other things you want to add, like a signed PO, something like that. You could add notes. This will be shown to the accountant when they receive this record. You could assign it a purchase order. And so look at, here we go. We have a matching purchase order already set up for this cost that matches our invoice. And you could select the vendor as well. Now this toggle switch right here, what this does is if it's toggled on, I'll go ahead and toggle that on. When I save this, when it's all allocated and I save this, it's going to send an alert to your accounting team, to my accounting team, letting them know that a new cost has been added. And I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. So I'll go ahead and just toggle this on, but you don't have to have that on. If you're not ready to submit this to your accounting team, just leave it off. But in our case, we'll leave it on. But now let's go ahead and allocate our 2 line items. So I'll say add an allocation. And by default, the line item is going to be the line item that you entered this in through. So the note here, we know that was stock music. And I think the amount was $710. That's correct. $710. Put that over here. And now what about markup? We have this little auto margin button here. And if I click on that, what it's going to do is pull whatever markup you have set in the line item and pull that through into here. So we had it set at 25%. And what it did was just calculate 25% of $710. If you put in $1,000 in here and auto margined, it'll pull in 25% of 1,000. So you can see how that could be a little bit of a time saver. And the reason this markup is important is because this is what allows us to track real-time financial data for your project. So I'll go ahead and add this allocation. All right, so we've allocated $710 of the total $2,200. You could see that down here, and you can see we still have a balance of $1,500, and that aligns with our next line item that we need to allocate. Just as a note while we're in here, if you have an invoice with line items from multiple projects, you can switch your projects here and then select the bid and then select your line item. By default, it's going to go to the bid that you're working on. So we know that this was for final mix and it was actually $1,500 and there was no markup on that. And I'll say final mix and we'll add that. So we've allocated the full amount and there's no remainder and I'm good to go. I'm going to go ahead and say save and close. And there you go. You can see that it's added this line item for $710. It added the markup and the total cost, which is what we'll print in your actuals, is $887.50. You can click on this and edit this if you want. I'll just jump down here and you can see here, we know we've had a cost record added because we have the little dollar sign. And then there it is, our second allocation for $1,500. We could also jump back over to our project summary. And now we can see that the full amount for our audio category has been actualized. If we scroll down to costs, we will see that our cost has been added. This is our invoice from Lemon, and it's for the full amount. And we can click on that and view that and edit that as well. Now, one other thing you'll see here, now that we've saved this, it says send to accounting. We don't have a toggle anymore because it's already been sent because we checked the box. We said send it to accounting when we save this. And so we did that. So where did it go? Let me jump back over here and refresh this page real quick. All right, I'm jumping back in here. I forgot to mention, so when we added that cost, it also sends you an email to whoever is subscribed to the accounting emails. So if you are the accountant, you get a new email in your inbox. It's from Jaket, new cost, and it'll say the organization that added it. Hey, a new cost has been added to this project by so-and-so on which date. And now all you got to do is click through and it's going to load up that cost right here. And so that's just another way that you'll be alerted that a new cost or invoice or whatever has been entered on your project. And if you have access to accounting records from your administrator, you're going to see the accounting tab over here. We'll just click on that. Now I'm in a dev account, and right now we only have one accounting record in our queue. And look it, that's from us. We're logged in as Johnny Tester, and it says, hey, Johnny Tester sent you a cost. It's invoice from Lime for the amount of $2,210. And if you click on that, that'll load in all of the information that we inputted when we created this cost record. So it shows the PO, it shows the original attachment. If we click on this, it'll load up here. It'll show any other information we give. If we add notes, that'll all show up in here. It'll show the vendor contact information if we've inputted that, in case they were curious about that. And then it also shows how to allocate this. So it shows our job numbers, job names, bids, and the associated line items with the corresponding amounts. And now as an accountant, I could update this and I can change this to recorded. So as the accountant, I've taken all this information. I didn't have any questions, and now it's in our accounting software and I've recorded it. So if I do that, you'll see now it's marked as recorded. And as you get more records, this will make more sense, but you can filter these things. So you can actually favorite records. If you're an accountant and you're working on something and you just need more information, you can star it and then just filter starred records. You could also filter by status. So favorite unread, pending, and recorded. So if you just wanted to show your unread, you would just click that and it would show you unread. If you just wanted to show recorded, there you go. And the other thing up here, obviously you can search for all sorts of metadata. So whether it's an invoice number or a project ID, you can search multiple fields in here. Just type it in and you'll find it. And then also you can quickly sort by accounts receivable and accounts payable. So just a quick tool for your accountants to be able to come in here and track the costs that way. All right, I know that's been a lot of information, and it can be overwhelming. So I'd love to offer up a live demo if you're interested, and also please sign up for our beta testing, where we are in the early phases of beta testing, and we are offering extended free trials for up to 3 months. So if you're interested in just poking around and learning a little more about the app, give us a shout. All right, talk soon. Thanks.